In this lecture, we'll connect Google Sheets to Twitter using Zapier. Our goal is to automatically reply to tweets with the generated haiku poems that we've created. We could of course do this manually, but the whole point is to automate the process. So let's begin in the Zapier dashboard, and you'll notice the two previous zaps that we've already created, and the one we're creating now will be the final one. So to begin, click the Create Zap button. And first, what we'll need to do here is to choose an application and a trigger event. So we'll need to find the Google Sheets application, and once you've found it, select it. Next, we'll define its trigger event, and from the drop-down, we'll want to select New Spreadsheet Row. So we want this zap to trigger when a new row is added to the bottom of a spreadsheet. And with that selected, we can click Continue. And if you've got this far in the section, you should have already connected your Google Sheets account. If you did, your account will be shown and connected like mine. If not, or if you don't see it, please connect it. Zapier connects to Google Sheets in one click. Alternatively, if you're in the wrong account, just click the button to change accounts. Anyway, after connecting your account, just click Continue. We'll now want to define the trigger settings. So the first thing that we'll want to do in the first drop-down is select the Generate Replies spreadsheet. That's the spreadsheet that we've been working with in this section. And then we'll want to choose the specific worksheet within that spreadsheet to work with. And in this case, we'll want to select the Haikus worksheet. So with that selected, we can click Continue. And to make sure that you're working with the correct data, select Test Trigger. And if you've selected the right spreadsheet and the right worksheet, you should see the following data. So what we have is the tweet in column A, we have the link to the tweet in column B, and we have the haiku poem generated in column C. With everything working as intended so far, let's click Continue. Now we'll want to add the next application. This is where you'll need to find and insert Twitter. So once you've found it, select it to insert it. And the first step, like with other applications we've set up, is to choose an event. So when we expand the drop-down menu, you'll see a few different events. The one that we want for our project is to create a tweet, which creates a tweet, optionally include an image, video, or GIF. So with that created, select Continue. Again, as with Google Sheets, if you've got this far into the project, you should already have your Twitter account connected, and it will show like mine does. If it's not connected for some reason, or if it's the wrong account, please change it or reconnect it. And after doing that, you can click Continue again. And here now, in the action settings, is where we'll get to define how our tweet will look. So the first option we have is message. So let's click into it. We'll now be able to craft how our tweet will look when it's sent to Twitter. So when you click into the message box, you'll see a bunch of variables that you can include from the Google Sheet. And what I'm going to do is start by adding the haiku variable, which we can see here. Then I'm going to add a space, and then I'm going to reference the original tweet by including the link data. We can then click off that because that's how I want to craft the tweet. I don't want to add anything else. We can then skip the options to add an image, video, or GIF. We can also leave the option in should shorten URLs set to yes, and it should be set to that by default anyway. But with that done, very simple, we can then click Continue again. Zapier will now show us a preview of what the tweet should look like, but of course I want to test it. So what I'm going to do is click Test Action, which will send the tweet to Twitter. And within moments, once it's done, you can switch to your Twitter profile to see what it looks like, and we can see our tweet right here. So if you set everything up correctly, you'll see the actual tweet, which references the original tweet. So great work. Let's now switch back to Zapier and wrap up on this lecture. First things first, we can click to close the options for this Zap, which we can see here, and that minimizes everything. And then what I'm going to do is rename this Zap as I've done with the others. So clicking in the top left, I'm going to rename it to something very clear as with the others. So free.sheets, and then I'll do a little rocket as I've done with the others, and write Twitter. Simple as that. Again, this is a sample project, so we're not going to publish it, but under the free plan in Zapier, two-step zaps like this are not a problem. And of course, we've run the test, so we know that it works as intended. I'll now return to the Zapier dashboard before wrapping up on this lecture. Here, you'll now see the final part of the larger automation that we created. And that's everything for this lecture. I really hope you enjoyed it. Join me in the next lecture where I'll summarize this project from a bird's eye view, and I'll explain how this project works as a whole rather than in parts as we've been building it so far. See you there.